Molweni Quintessentials, welcome back to the Kazimla PR Academy. Today we are talking about how to become a thought leader in your specific field. So you are a subject matter expert and you want to raise your visibility publicly on very niche specified media outlets within a designated target audience, so your peers essentially, to get number one, the visibility, number two, to be endorsed and validated for the work that you do and the work that you know, and also to lead and to mentor others that are coming behind you. So without wasting any more time, let's get right into this video. First things first, when you think about becoming a thought leader, is you need to think about your brand voice. I keep saying this in almost every video. You need to think about your brand voice. How do you want to sound? Do you want to sound authoritative? Yes. For thought leadership profiling, you definitely want to be the authority figure, the leader, the know it, not necessarily all, but you have enough expertise on the topic, able to teach, you are comfortable in your area and in your field of knowledge, and you can use your brand voice in a variety of ways. So either writing thought leadership articles, essentially a thought leadership article, what it is in summary is usually a 600 to 800 word article where you are talking about a specific thing. So I could literally write a thought leadership article on this very topic, how to become a thought leader. And you would pitch your thought leadership article to various media outlets that you believe are appropriate, and have that specific target audience, the people that you want to reach. Are they reading this specific magazine, this paper, this online publication? Because that's where you want to be known as relevant as, and that is where you want to also get the endorsement from your peers, from other leaders in the space. So that is number one, you building your brand voice, finding your voice either through editorial or even through speaking engagements. So you can identify various speaking opportunities. There's plenty of speaking gigs that are going around, not just in the country, but globally. And you need to find your niche. So if you're in the health space, then you would be speaking, in medical conferences and that type of forum. If you're in PR, then you look for marketing related events that you could speak on, and so on and so forth. And then there's also the option of using media outlets. So you could look for opportunities to be a subject matter expert for radio. For example, 702 needs commentary on maybe the inefficiency of hospitals in South Africa, and you have that knowledge, you are a subject matter expert in that field. You can position yourself and literally go to producers and ask them, with you sharing your profile, your CV, your knowledge, as a means of raising your voice, your visibility within those specific media outlets. So those are the options that you literally have. You also have social media, using your YouTube channel, using TikTok, Instagram. LinkedIn is usually the best place to start when you want to build credibility of your brand. If you are perhaps in business or you're in something more professionalized, if you're in fashion, then obviously TikTok and Instagram would be the best platforms to showcase your knowledge and your skill, because obviously TikTok and Instagram are highly visual, and you have that opportunity to also have community engagement with your audience. So once you've decided on your brand voice, then you can decide on what platform is the most appropriate for you. And I would advise to keep it at no more than 2, so that you can focus your efforts in building rapport with your target audience and also being regular. So consistency is the name of the game as far as raising your visibility is concerned. People need to trust that they can expect to see you on a regular basis, commenting on relevant industry specific news and sharing and expounding on current affairs. So whether that's fashion in your case, whether it's medical, engineering, whatever the case may be found to be consistent in the relevant platforms, so that you are building that respect not just with your peers but also with your followers and your subscribers. And on the topic of credibility, it's very important that as a thought leader you are well read. Being well spoken and well written is one thing, but you need to speak on case studies that exist. You need to provide anecdotal data that can endorse the information and the facts that you are providing, because you are now speaking as an authoritative figure in your specific field, and you need to get other experts as well in the field to endorse your voice. And it shows that you are well read, it shows that you are not in isolation. It also demonstrates and displays that you are well read. It illustrates that you are on top of trends, you have done your market research, you know what's what in your industry, and you are sharing current relevant data with your audience. So structure your content for the doom scroller. People don't like reading a lot, and especially if you're going to be writing thought leadership pieces, you need to segment your content in a way that has a very gripping hook. So you need to hook people in within the first, paragraph or intro. If you're doing videos on social media, you need to hook people in within the first 3 seconds of your videos. So you must have that hook. You must be able to draw people in with relevant, useful, catchy content. You are now presenting an alternative way of thinking. You're coming with an alternative thought to say, why is this current way of thinking not working? So you've grabbed them with the hook. Now you're coming with a conflicting theory that you are able to then expound on as a subject matter expert. And you can end your thought leadership article by providing a future lens. You can also forecast or predict what will happen in the industry if people don't take this advice that you're giving them. So you've provided the hook, you've provided a conflict and an alternative thought, and then you close with a solution. You're not gatekeeping any information, and you resolve then the issue towards the end by forecasting what could potentially happen if people do not heed to the advice or the information that you are providing. We live in the age of AI. You can use AI as a prompt to help you to think of new ways of interrogating certain topics, but never allow AI to write your thought leadership pieces for you, because that is going to show immediately. It's very good as a prompt, and you want to be known as an authority figure on a specific subject matter. So if you don't want to lose credibility within the ecosystem that you are operating in, it's very vital for you to not abuse AI or to be lazy and allow AI to just start writing your articles for you, or even let it write your content scripts for you if you are using the visual or on-camera version of thought leadership building. And there is a temptation to try to sound smart, but in your sounding smart, you need to make difficult, hard to understand topics accessible to, the general public. Not everybody is going to be interested or is going to be aligned to the content that you are sharing, but do try and make your content accessible to people. Let it be easy to understand. The language mustn't be too fluffy. Do not avoid jargon, avoid abbreviation. People don't want to read content that's overly fluffy or that's filled with unnecessarily, superfluous. Is it superfluous? Superfluous words. You want to get to the point, make it understandable, even if you're writing on academic topics. Yes, use the academic register, but let the content be accessible. Do not be a gatekeeper of information, and don't try to outdo yourself by trying to be super smart, because you are going to lose that audience. And the whole purpose of you wanting to become a thought leader is to build community. And you can't build community if people don't understand what it is that you are talking about in your editorials or in your videos. And then one way to sort of speed up your credibility as a thought leader is to look at publications within your sector. In my case, I could write to a biz community. There is a marketing section within biz community, and have my articles printed by an already established media outlet. And the nice thing is these days is that when your articles are published online, you can literally reshare them on social media. So you can take your articles that have been published on a biz community, on a farmers weekly, so we call those trade publications, or a weekly print, or a daily print, or even a news outlet. You are able to take the video clips, you are able to take the online editorial clips and share them on a LinkedIn, and you can even enhance your article with an enticing caption to get people to be even more engrossed and hook them further to read the article. So it gives you that credibility. You have an editorial in the Mail and Guardian's thought leadership section on issues that you are passionate about. That is one of the ways that you can raise your brand authority and your brand visibility as a thought leader in your ecosystem. And still on that point, you can then take the content that you have written as a thought leadership article and break it up into 3 or 4 posts, so you've always got content that you can repurpose. So you can pull a paragraph from your article maybe once a week, and you keep resharing that content, because there are those people that may have not read your article, and you also want to repurpose your content and not have to feel under pressure at times to have fresh, new, exciting things to say. That's the other thing. Never feel under pressure to create content, because that's going to also put you in a tight spot where you might find yourself compromised in the quality of the production of your editorials or your videos. So take the existing thought leadership pieces that you have, pull a paragraph here and there, pull a clip from your videos, and repurpose that content so that it's evergreen for times when you do need to post something, but you don't have time to write, or you're under deadlines and you don't have time to create something new from scratch, or you literally are just having writer's block. You can use your existing thought leadership pieces as evergreen content. You already are the expert. You are now profiling yourself, and I think it's also good, when you're applying for jobs, you're looking for a promotion, or if you're in business and you're looking for new business, it's good for you as the founder to be visible in the appropriate media outlets where your customer base is. And if you are in corporate, it's a good way for you to come up the ranks as well, because you are visible and you are sharing your content with your colleagues, with your seniors. So it's another way for you to position yourself as a C-suite. It's a good way for you to position yourself as a person who's ready for those senior management roles, because they do involve quite a big chunk of, or maybe not a big chunk, but you do need to do some form of media public relations on yourself. It's not just your expertise alone that are going to get you that promotion. You need to be seen, to be visible, and speaking on matters that are relevant to your industry. And, if you want to even get brownie points, speak on the organization that you are working for. So you are doing and giving them free PR, but make sure you connect with the communications department and you're not infringing on their work. And also there is communications protocol that must be followed. So it's not everybody that can be a brand ambassador for the business. So make sure that you check with the organization that you work for and make sure that you are actually allowed to speak on behalf of the business, failing which you can just write articles, share videos on your behalf without having the concern and the worry of putting your company's brand or the organization that you work for, putting the brand under threat for reputational damage. I hope this has been helpful, quintessentials, and happy writing and happy content creating for your thought leadership building exercise. Cheers, we'll see you in the next one.